Morning guys. So Saturday morning stretch session coming up. We're going to keep it similar to last week because it was more of a progressive stretch that we did last week, and a lot of people felt that they needed that a little bit more than the flow session. So we'll do another one of these this week, and then we'll move back into the flow sort of next week, and then we'll alternate between the two. So again, you will need a towel for some of these stretches. It's just a longish enough towel. It doesn't have to be a giant beach towel, but a normal bath towel will do for this, because we're going to use the towel to help with some of the stretches for the upper body and for the lower body also. And we're going to be going through some of those ankle mobility exercises as well, because it's another one of the ones that people tend to miss out on is the ankle mobility, and that then affects into other exercises like your squats, your lunges and things like that. So that's a small towel, is it? Longer towel. So we will get ready to go, and we'll get ready to cast once we're doing this here. So we're just going to circle the arms, guys. So again, we're doing a sort of hybrid mix here between the stretching and the mobility work that I would have done back in the kickboxing days, and it helps loosen you out and helps with your flexibility, and then the other exercises will help with mobility also. Come on, wife.
Alright, yeah, you know.
So do long circles around with that. Do you want to cast that on TV? Relax that down. So we're just going to move into that waist and just rotate from the waist. So again, you can twist on the ball of the foot if you want a little bit just to get through the hips, but we're trying to get that rotation coming from that thoracic spine coming through. So rotate around. If you want, hug yourself, plant your feet, and that'll actually give you that lower back mobility where you're just rotating from the waist. Because at times people tend to overuse something else where they'll throw into it. So if you just want to get into it, just hug yourself, and then that'll get you right into that. And then we're going to extend that with that pec stretch. Turn the palm up so your thumb points behind. And that's it, just extend that arm. One more. And bring that back. We're going to bring that into the neck now. So all I want with the neck is turn your head to one side, turn your head to the opposite side.
Hi.
Head to one side, just head to the opposite side. And you're just going to turn it so you're getting just that stretch. That's all we're looking for. You're not trying to overdo it. And if you're wondering why we're adding a neck stretch into this here, neck's involved. A lot of the movements that we do with core work, sit-ups, things like that, front of the neck down your sternocleidomastoid is working on when you're on your back doing sit-ups, and then the rear coming up into your traps and up into the back of the neck is working whenever you're doing planks and things like this here, press ups. So your neck is under pressure during all these here. Circle halfway down, up, and then we're not going to do a full circle. So you're semicircling around, stop at the top, semicircle round, stop at the top. So semicircle down round, stop at the top. So you're getting a stretch from the back of that neck. When you come up top, you're stretching down through here, and then we're going the opposite way, which is pulling to the base of the skull, back up. So you're really trying to get that stretch. Stretch it side, down, side, up and back. So you're getting a full thing. You're not just doing these wee small circles, you're actually trying to move that through that range of motion. Down and round, up, stop, down and round, up, stop, stop, and then we'll bring that down. Just take a second for that there to settle in case that made you slightly dizzy. Feet underneath the hips from here, and then we're going to circle that round. So just long circles round. And again with this here, don't just do these small circles, try and push it out the back, push it forward so you feel it in the hip flexors, feel that stretch from the lower back into the top of the glutes. Opposite way. So just circle that round and through. and then back to center and stop that. From there, just feet together, bend the knees, push your butt back, hands on top of the thighs, and you're going to circle. So we're dropping into that straight, hands on top of the thighs just for balance. We're keeping the heels down as you do this. You circle the knees out and around. That's getting a bit more into that ankle mobility that we were talking about. One more this way, and then circle the opposite way. So we're loosening through, coming through those knees, but we're also mainly ankle mobility. Really push the knees forward, straighten up as you come tall. One more, and then up, straighten that up. Big toe on the floor, circle that around. Your flexibility and your mobility is the easiest thing for people not to do. But it's one of the most important to keep you healthy. Opposite way. Again, we're trying to make the circle of that heel. So your point of your toe stays on the floor. We're circling the heel out and round. And then change sides. Point the toe, and then circle that round. And then opposite way. Step there. And relax that. Just shake that. So we're going to go on and we're going to start working our way back up now. So we're going to start with that ankle mobility that I showed you last week. If you're new to this, what you want. So we're going to have a chair from this here, and then we're going to, you can use the wall, you can use that bench there. So actually, distance, that's okay, excuse me. You can actually do it here. So from this here bench, if my toes against the counter, I can touch. You should be able to touch that very easily. So your toe, your knee should be able to touch that counter with your toe against it. And then you move back slightly. So move back, say, an inch or two. Now you're going to push forward, keep your heel down, I can still touch. Move back, that's me about 3 inches there. Keep your heel down, push that knee forward. You should still be able to touch. If you can't, that's where you start your stretch from. I'm back now about 4 or 5, I can just about touch. So I'm going to go back another half an inch. My heel stays down, I stay tall, I'm pushing my knee forward. I can't touch. So you're going to do 8 stretches here forward, each one trying to get closer to that. Once you touch it, if you can touch it easy, move back slightly. If it's just a good stretch, then keep that going. So we're going to do 8 each side. Pull back now until you find where you get that stretch position. And this is going to stretch that Achilles tendon coming up into your calf. So find where you can touch or not touch. Keep your heel down and we're driving the knee forward, pull back. Drive the knee forward, pull back. Don't force this. Heel staying down, knees going forward. So I'm just driving that knee forward, and it's this front we're doing. Don't turn it into a calf stretch like people do where you're stretching the back leg. We're moving this front. Keep that heel down. Sink a bit more into that stretch.
The back?
Yep, so sink down into it as you go forward as well. There, keep your heel down now as you do that. Once you get 8 on one side, change the legs, find your position where you can get that stretch. Don't try and stay upright and just do this. You're not going to get a stretch. You need to sink into it and drive that knee forward past your toe. So 8 now. If you can touch easily, move back half an inch. It'll feel like a mile. There's the stretch here now. Good. We're going to keep the chair. So from this here, you can use the workbench as well from this. 2 hands on. We're not using the palms because the wrist will bend. We're putting the heel of the hand on so that the wrist stays straight. And then I'm going to sit back. So I'm pulling my body this way as I sit back, and then I'm going to not put my head through, I'm going to push my shoulder blades through. You're going to get a stretch from the lat, down in through here, and you're going to get up into those rear shoulders. So I'm going back first to find the stretch, and then I'm going to sit down. So I'm pushing down through it. Then sit back a little bit more. You get a big stretch from the rear shoulders and from the lats. Hold that stretch. Then just raise up out of it slightly. Drop your left hand down. Grab your opposite lat here to support. Now do the same thing. Back and down. You should get a bigger stretch single arm. If you're not feeling it, just sit back further. Come up out of it. Change sides. Grab your opposite lat. So just grab below your armpit. That's for stability. Sit back and go down. And then come up out of that. Good. So you'll do that a little bit more after the lateral raises yesterday. Grab the chair or the bench, up to you which one you're going to use. All you're doing is putting the hands or fingertips on it. Push the chest forward. From here, bring your hands close together. Then roll your shoulders back. Then push the chest forward. There we go. So once you get in that position, so we're not in a slouch position. Shoulders are back. Chest is forward, I'm standing tall, so my shoulder blades are slightly together, and then my chest is pushed forward in this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a step forward slightly, and then I'm going to sit down into that stretch. Go as low as you can, as long as you don't end up rounded forward. Chest up, sit back into it, stretch that out. You can go low as you want. The lower you go, as long as you're keeping the shoulders back, you're going to get the forearms, biceps, chest, and shoulders. And bring that up out of that. Relax that out. So because we did that, you're going to have pressure on those biceps and wrists. We're going to stretch through those wrists now. Then we're going to work back down through. We'll work into that for you now in a minute. So just hands together like this. Forearms together, and you're just going to push over. Push over to one side, like this. So you're raising up. You want to raise up? No. You did this and moved. The only thing that moves is that. Down in, then up the opposite way, and down in. So don't just do this here, because you're not doing the stretch. We're going to move into that next. And then other side. This is just getting it a bit looser before we're going to do the next one. Now, top of your fingers, one hand sideways, other hand forward, lock that out, push it forward. Then you can pull your fingers back as much as you want.
Right, you guys.
Change sides, other palm over, stand up, baby, please. Stretch that over. And bring that up. And from there, just grab here, and then we're going to roll. Then back the opposite way. And then relax that out. Grab your towel. So just roll that towel over, and makes it easier to grab. So just roll it around a few times from here. And then the length of your towel will depend on how far you grab it out. Good. So what we're going to do, guys, we're going to do shoulder dislocations first. So, hold that right. From here, you're going to grab the towel as far away as you can from this, and what we're trying to do is over the head until it goes and goes through. Back over the head and back around. So last week I couldn't even grab this towel. I had to go and get a bigger towel. You may need to go and get a bigger towel. Can you get on through? that towel out in front.
Right.
Stretch, no, grab it and stretch it out for me, please. Yeah, so you can grab that towel. It's longer. So you may need to get a bigger towel for this here. So what we're going to do is you're going to over, down, in, over, down, in. So the distance of your hands depends on your shoulder mobility. I'm way out here, so that makes it easy for me to get over the top. If I grab it in a little bit more, then I'm going to have a bigger dislocation, and you're not really dislocating, it's just what it's called. So you bring it over and round, over and round, and you want to have that pressure here for you to force it through. That's the idea of the dislocation. So pressure and then force it through. So grab it until you're feeling that, and then we're going to do 10. So that's 1, that's 2. Relax the neck, head up. Don't duck the head. So make your shoulders get over your head. Keep it going. If it gets easier, grab it a little bit closer. 2 more. I can feel this pulling through my neck now. 1 more. And 10. Good. You should feel that. That should be pulling down the back of the neck, into the shoulders, lats, all the way up around whenever you're doing this. So we're going to keep with that shoulder mobility. We are going to do, you can keep your towel if you can't grab it with this here, but one hand is going to come behind, the other hand is going to come up, and you're going to try and grab your fingers, interlink them to get that stretch. So the stretch is for this top tricep, and then you can lean very slightly into it if you want with that. If you can't get that, again, you use your towel, you put it behind your head like that, then you simply grab your towel. I'm definitely ordering a white strap today. And then you pull that towel down and across, and then you lean with it. So you can grab it here, pull it down, that'll get to the position, reach up, pull it down. If you can't grab, so if you can't grab your fingers, use the towel and do that. If you can't grab your fingers, you have pretty good shoulder mobility, and you're just going to do this here. Also leads into neck mobility, and lean into it. Now hold. Breathe. Breathe. We're going to do 5 breaths. Relax into it. Breathe. Breathe. The last one. Deep breath. And breathe. Relax that out. You may need to shake it out just to loosen out that shoulder. Just let that relax in. And then we're going to do the other side. Some people have good mobility on one side and poor mobility on the other. That's completely fine. Use the towel if you need for this one. So the hand goes behind.
Back my hand on the other side.
And then the hand goes up. This is the way we do the shoulder dislocation. So I can grab easily on the other side. This side, not so much. It's a bigger pull. So use your towel now that you can't touch.
I can touch it, just
But you can't grab.
Yeah.
So get that position. And then down in. And that might be that, more than likely it's that the bottom arm isn't as flexible, not the top arm.
I can bend up the hand.
Yeah. Pull down in now. And then just slightly, now 5 breaths. One more. Relax that down, release that, and just shake them out, guys. Shaking just sort of loosens out through that muscle and joint where you've been holding in that static position. Shaking, shaking. So we're going to start moving down into the lower back area now. So widen the feet into a comfortable position for yourself. There's grips in the bottom of these socks. That's the reason I'm able to do this. If you don't, bare feet would probably be better if you have a slippy surface. So we're going to hinge back. So my back flat, we're hinging back into it. I'm reaching my chest forward and back from here. And from this, we're going to go as low as you can to the floor. So I'm trying as much as possible not to bend from that lower back. Keeping the heels on the floor. You can turn your toes out slightly if you want. And then the leg position, you can You can go as far as you want with your legs, depends really on your flexibility and your mobility, but we're trying to keep that chest tall and the hips pushed back as much as possible. Just relax up out of that, walk that back in slightly, plant the left leg on the floor, and then we're going to sit down into that left side. So the depth that you go, again, depends on your flexibility. With the stretch, we're trying is for here. So I want this heel down, and this other foot can stay down or can be up slightly, it's up to you. I like to keep the toes and heels planted for that stretch. Come across, sink into the opposite side. So we're just holding that static stretch for a bit. This elbow is holding this knee out. Now we're going to move, side. Now we're going to move, side. Move over, side. What I want you to do as you're coming across now with these stretches, get that chest up, side, get taller, so that you're not slouched and hunched over. Taller, down and up, taller, because you've got that little bit of loosening out. Now get up on your knee, if you can, so you're not touching the floor. You're coming across into that stretch, keeping tall. Now you're getting that spine into a better position, and we're sitting into that stretch, down and down in. Good. Down in. Down in. Down in. And just walk that back in. Walk it in. Bring that up. Walk it up. Just circles. Sort of opening up out the way. We're just loosening through the hips. Opening up that door with the hip so it comes up to 90 degrees, and then you open the door. That's the way you think of it. Open. So knee comes up, you open it out. Knee comes up, you open it out. You use a hand for reference if you need. And then what we're going to do now is close the door. Up, down, in. Up, down, in. Out and round, 90 degrees, down, in. Out and round, 90 degrees, down, in. Two more. Last one. Relax that. So we're going to reach across, guys, widening the feet, just slightly wider than the shoulder distance. We're going to reach. This should be a lot looser now. We're trying to pull down through after the shoulder dislocations. Reach. And we want you to lean to that side. Reach. You're pulling down through. Back down. Relax it. Reach more. Back down now. Reach more. And I'm staying forward, not twisting into it. Don't twist. Don't twist forward like this. It doesn't matter if you can only do this for now and get across, because you're tight in the lat, you're tight in through the obliques. We're trying to reach across. Breathe. Breathe as you stretch. Breathe in as you come back. Breathe out. One more. Breathe in. Go. Back to center. Change sides. So if you want, you can push this hand this way. Some people find this just sort of, I tend to just support, but starting out across, breathe out. Breathe out. And reach this hand, reach it over. So bend your elbow, right? Bend this elbow.
Yeah.
And then push it across now, reach it up. Through. There we go. Because if you're holding it static, you're relying on the side bend to get to the stretch in the lats. I want you to reach into that lat. Reach into the lat. Reach into it. Breathe. Reach across. Breathe. Reach across. That's what I want. You can get into all those hard to reach places.
Yeah.
One more. And relax that. Good. You get on the mat. You alright, Noah?
Mm-hmm.
Awake?
I haven't had coffee yet, it's not.
Yes, I know.
My magic beans haven't. My magic.
What will we start with? We actually haven't done a downward dog in a bit, so we will do the downward dog. Again, the downward dog, guys, whenever you're doing it, I like it for calf, ankle, and hamstring mobility. More so, some people like it for that shoulder stretch when you get up into the position where you're in this position, plank, and then you push back, and people like the shoulder stretch. I like it because most people can't get their heels to the floor. So I tend to concentrate on trying to push my legs locked, butt back, and drive that heel into the floor for that stretch. So we're going to start here, we're going to reach back, and that's the furthest I've ever got my heels to the floor because they're already pre-loosened. Come back down out of it, and then back up and back flat. Push the heels to the floor, push your shoulder blades through. Same as a chair stretch, you're not just pushing your head through. I'm driving my upper back and shoulder blades through by pushing my butt up, heels down. Back down onto that floor. Hold. Go. Up and through. Back down onto the floor. Hold. Need to walk back a bit because my shoulders just aren't straight under. They're sort of too far behind. Back up, heels down. Lock down legs. Back down in. We're going to do 2 more. Up. Back down into it. And then up. Now you drop the hips into the floor, roll the shoulders back, stretch up. Push your pelvis into the floor as you do this. Get the stretch to those abdominals, especially those who are doing the sit-up challenge. Stretch straight up, pelvis into the floor. Relax that neck. Sit back onto the hands, or onto the heels, should I say. Reach forward. Same as what we're doing with the chair. Heels of the hand goes into the floor, you sit back. Hold that stretch. Come forward out of that slightly. Left hand outside the mat. Right hand goes on top. Sit back. Get the lats more. Breathe. Relax up out of that. Change position, walk it over, right hand goes out, left hand on top, sit back. Breathe into it. Relax up out of that. Now, we're going to sit. So with these, you can use the towel for the next stretches coming after this here. We're going to do a wide leg position first. Sit nice and tall, pull yourself up. You can remember that. You're actually not. Can you widen your legs?
As far as the board.
There we go. Sit tall. Pull the spine up. And then lean forward slightly just from this position. That's all I want. I want you to reach your chest up to the corner wall and forward. Lean forward further. Chest taller. And lean forward. Just hold. Breathe into that. Good. Breathe into it a bit more. Go further. And again, I'm reaching this way. If you don't need the support of the hands, do that. Hands up. Now, let it pull you out of your hips. Forward. Taller. Relax out of that. Sit tall. Go. Further. If you need that support, grab that support. Let it pull you. But don't slouch. Don't automatically drop the chest. Up. Relax back further. Up. Let's go. Further. Should be able to get that a little bit further now. And guys, it doesn't matter if further means that you went from here to here to here. It doesn't matter if you want to move forward an inch. That's your mobility. So don't worry about what I'm doing. I have 10 years of kickboxing behind me, and I always keep pretty mobile anyway. Last one. Reach up. So once you get flexibility, you never lose the flexibility. It's a matter of retraining the muscles to let you do it again. Back up out of that. Bring the knees, feet in. So that foot comes up, drop down to the side, and from here. If you want to use the towel for this, so if you can't really get forward because your lower back's tight or your hips tight, from this, I would rather you grab the towel around from here, and then you're going to pull the big toe round till the big toe is square from that, and then you're just going to let that pull you forward. And then you're going to use the towel to pull yourself into that position. Stay tall, and then that'll help you get that straight. So if you can't grab your toe, use your towel. Pull yourself into position. I'm going to reach across. Sit up nice and tall. Let's go. Breathe. So if you're using towel, make sure your big toe is coming square on towards you. You're not twisting your foot out the way. Relax up out of that. Forward. Let's go. Breathe. Relax up out of that. Let's go. Forward. Breathe. Each time I'm going, I can get a little bit further into that stretch. Last one. Reach up out of that. Forward. So I can grab the ball with my foot. I haven't been able to do that in ages. Bring that up. Grab the knee. Bring the knee up. Change sides. Up. Back down. Okay.
I find the moving between the stretches nearly harder than the stretches.
Yeah, some people do. So again, guys, if this hip's tight, you might find it's difficult to get across. That's where the towel comes into play. Even if you use the towel at the start, and then you move on to your hands, flip it over, chest is tall, pull yourself into that stretch. It allows you to sit tall and get into it. So let's go. I'm just going to use the towel here for this side. This is what I was describing about the hip being tight. This hip is tight. My right hip is tight. I'm not overly worried here about pulling the toes back towards my face, because if you're already tightening your hips and hamstrings, I don't really want to turn this into a calf stretch as well. So I'd rather that the towel was under your mid-foot and you were using it just to pull yourself forward rather than trying to pull your toes back as well, because that for people sometimes can take away from the hip and hamstring stretch. Relax up, go further. It could also be your lat is tight. If your lat on the right hand side and your upper back is tight, that'll prevent you getting forward to the toe. Bring that up. Let's try it this time. Which mine is. So I need a lot of work on the right side of my body here for flexibility. You tweak some?
No, okay.
Last one, bring that up. Reach across, grab if you can. Down, good. So bring that knee up. Straighten that out, just relax that. If you want, you can slap the hamstrings off the floor a little bit. So this comes up, comes across like we're doing. So left leg comes up, comes across the outside of the right knee. You can do a headlock with the right arm and pull up, and that's going to get the glute from here. So you're pulling up and pulling this to this shoulder. Try this one first. Just grab the headlock, no, with the right arm. Headlock your knee, press your forearm, yeah. Now grab this hand, now pull this knee over this shoulder. Pull it up, no you didn't pull it up.
Pull it up a bit, I'll pull it forward more when I snap it out.
Where are you
like.
getting it?
Here.
Good. Didn't look like you pulled too much just. So up and just breathe and hold into that stretch. So this is getting out here into the outside of the glute. If you're doing it right. So it's like a headlock position, but it's just giving that little bit of a pull into that glute. Now that we've got that position, now you put your left hand to the floor slightly behind you, bring your right tricep to the outside of that knee now, and then that's going to get through the lower back and twist across. So now we're getting a good stretch. I'm pushing this knee this way, and I'm twisting my body this way. So my lower back is getting a good stretch through it. And then we're going to relax out of that. So just walk that knee across, straighten it out. Right leg comes up, right leg goes to the outside of the left knee. The left hand, so don't grab it with your right arm. So my right knee's across, don't grab it with the right. It's not the same thing. Grab it with the left into that headlock position, grab the back of your forearm, and then pull up this way. So I'm sitting tall as I'm doing this as well. So that's pulling right down the outside of my thigh into my glute and getting a little stretch for those glutes before we go into that twist and stretch. And again, sit tall. And then right hand behind, left hand across, tricep to the knee, now twist. Sit tall. Breathe into it. Relax it a bit. Foot across, down. So we're going to go into that hamstring stretch now that we did last week, the 3-way hamstring stretch. You're going to go that way. So we're going to start. You're going to towel over the mid-foot, so want it over mid-foot so you have control, and keep your big toes square. Grab that towel now. So we're going to keep both legs straight, and you're going to go back now as far as you can. I want your head and shoulders on the mat, but that leg is going to stop at the position where you can keep it straight. So this is the reason we've locked it straight on the floor. You're bringing it straight up now, and then you're going to stop at the position where it stays straight. Don't let that leg bend. Pull it towards you. Now breathe and hold. We're going to do 15 seconds. Keep your toes square as well. Five seconds. You grab your towel in that right hand. You're going to let that leg come out to the right hand side as far as possible. Don't let this leg lift, so you're not twisting across. This hip, everything stays on the floor. Go down to as far as you can. Now pull up towards you. 15 seconds of this. Breathe. Relax that up. Change it to the left hand. This is going to be uncomfortable. Bring it across the body. Now pull up. 15 seconds of this. Don't fight the stretch. Don't be bouncing. Go to the position where you can hold that stretch without fighting it. You should be feeling this around the outside of the leg, back of the knee. Breathe and relax. And bend that down now. Yes, sit up. So usually for most people you might be a little bit tight on the inside thigh, but once you bring it across the body, that outside stretch is usually as tight for people as they've ever felt. So again, towel mid-foot, pull that foot square, so don't be twisting it to the outside, don't twist it way to the inside, square off that toe. Two hands or one hand if you're more comfortable with one-handed. I tend to do one hand. Maria's doing two here. Straighten both legs, and then back we go. Back, 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 back. That leg stays straight. Once you feel the stretch, start your breathing. 15 seconds. Lock that leg, Maria. No, it wasn't. There's locked now. 5 seconds. Transfer the towel to that left hand now. Out as far as you can. Opposite leg stays down and pull up. Opposite shoulder down too. Five seconds. Back up. Grab the towel. Change hands. Support the opposite shoulder down. Come across as far as you can. Pull up. Breathe. Don't fight it. Three, two, one. Bring that down. Towel to the floor. Hug the knees into the chest. Pull it in. Keep hold of the left knee, stretch that right leg out the front. If you want, if you're not feeling the stretch, pull the knee sort of slightly, open it up and pull it past the chest so it's not directly on the chest, it's out to the side a little bit. Change sides. This is one of those ones I tend not to grab with the hands either. I tend to headlock it because it gets me a bigger stretch as I do it. Sometimes with the hand, you're not really getting the pull and through the hip. Relax that down, straight. Onto your side, foot forward, grab the toes, or knees together, straighten the body up, and then stretch that out. You can do it off your front. If you're doing it off your front, push your pelvis into the floor. Relax that. Same thing other side. I'm just going to twist myself around so you can see. So knee forward, grab it, knees together, touch the knees together, and then pelvis forward. If you can do it off your front, do it off the front, push the pelvis into the floor. But my pelvis is pushing forward, my knees are together, my body is straight. To get that stretch right into that quad. And relax that. And that's it. You have a wee sleep there.
I would have to.
I know you would. So full stretch done, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. It's about a 45-minute stretch. I didn't really feel like it. So again, more of a progressive stretch. More of a progressive stretch again, focusing on holding the stretches rather than just flowing through them mobility, because times we need that actual static stretching to loosen everything out. So have a good Saturday, guys, and enjoy your weekend, and we will see you all bright and early on Monday.